Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention.
Final Fantasy XIV has come a long way from its humble origins, but it's hard to look anywhere without seeing the MMO making headlines for its massive explosion in popularity. Maybe it's been a bit too successful, given the login woes during the first week of its latest expansion, Endwalker. It's a testament to the game's immense draw that people are willing to wait for hours on end to see what's next. And thankfully, despite some shortcomings, Endwalker not only lives up to expectations, but in some regards, exceeds them. It's almost impossible to deliver a fulfilling conclusion to such a massive storyline, but Endwalker manages to accomplish this incredible feat. While its predecessor Shadowbringers featured a more tightly focused tale with slightly better pacing, Endwalker dishes out incredible payoffs and achieves some of 14's highest points yet.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
An excellent example of how the game draws you into its story comes with an early questline unraveling the mysteries of Old Charlian and why its leaders refuse to come to the aid of the world even in the face of its destruction. Tensions run high in these early hours, but the game isn't afraid of taking time out to develop its wonderful characters, putting the action sequences on the back burner. Some of the later sections are even more jaw-dropping, boasting fantastic writing and captivating scenarios.
This is my home. Our home.
However, there are times when the pacing drags on, and you'll find yourself stuck in certain situations for too long. Given the expansion's lengthy playtime, Endwalker would benefit from tightening up these few segments. In particular, anything to do with returning villain Xenos feels incredibly underwhelming at first, but the writers find a way to subvert these low points by weaving several incredible twists into his arc. Overall, though, the story leads to an immensely emotional conclusion that's satisfying while also leaving you yearning for more, as players wait to learn what the future holds for our brave heroes and the world of Final Fantasy XIV.
From the barbarian hordes until our countrymen return!
Endwalker's massive new zones rank amongst the most dazzling, and like the story, revealing some of the best examples of these majestic vistas would be a shameful disservice. All the best is saved for last. Some of the early regions really stand out, especially the underground wonderland of Labyrinthos, with its artificial skyline and brilliant sun giving the illusion of being on the surface, or the stunning sights and sound of Ratsat-Hand, a bustling city that's simply enchanting. Thrown into the mix are a handful of dungeons that take the narrative immersion a step further than before. In the early goings, the design sticks to the tried-and-true formula, with wonderful throwbacks to Final Fantasy IV's Tower of Zot and Tower of Babel. However, the later dungeons are something truly special. It's not that they do anything mechanically innovative, but rather it's the extra effort that goes into presenting them in a manner that preserves the narrative flow without feeling forced. One of the key components to achieving this feat is the improved integration of the trust system, NPC allies who can fight alongside you in place of regular players. Though the system was first introduced in Shadowbringers, Endwalker steps up the effort with improved AI and better story integration. For those seeking to get the most out of the plot, it's highly recommended to run each dungeon for the first time with trusts. Endwalker takes the trust system one step further by allowing you to bring your companions into one of the later boss trials, something never before done in Final Fantasy XIV. These bold new options not only help to solidify the impact of the narrative, but open the door to new possibilities where specific characters can join your adventure to deliver the sense of a more traditional RPG experience, akin to playing solo. There are some drawbacks to the overhauled NPC features though. For starters, since they don't appear in your party list during combat situations, it's incredibly frustrating to try to target them, particularly when using a controller. There are also escort-style quests where NPCs will tag along with you, but should you run too fast, mount up, or teleport, as you most likely would during normal play, they'll fall behind or outright vanish and return to the starting point. Hopefully the developers tweak the AI a bit in the coming patches, but despite the setback, the feature definitely shows promise. As for the boss trials, Endwalker cranks it up to 11 and completely shatters expectations. These are easily some of the most satisfying boss encounters in Final Fantasy XIV, with creative new mechanics that prevent them from feeling too safe or familiar. The innovation doesn't end with these trials either, as Endwalker features some brilliant solo battles that put you in the shoes of other characters. Rather than one-on-one fights that drag on, you're occasionally thrown into unique situations that keep you on your toes, such as having to sneak around a base while silently taking out guards in Metal Gear Solid fashion. Endwalker brings new changes and adjustments to all of the existing jobs, as well as the addition of 2 new ones, Reaper and Sage. With a few exceptions, most of the tweaks are for the better and feel like small evolutions of their Shadowbringers counterparts. Reaper and Sage definitely earn style points for looking cool in action while simultaneously delivering something that truly feels unique. The one small bump in the road is that Sage comes with a bit of a learning curve and is somewhat rough to play as at lower levels, at least more so than other healers. Several other areas also receive some minor love and care with various quality of life updates that are all for the better. Among these changes, improved warp menus make for easier navigation. An overhaul of spearfishing changes it from a dull chore to a mildly addictive minigame. There's better snapshotting for abilities so they register faster. And belts have been removed, so there's one less item to clutter up your precious inventory. With all these trimmings, Endwalker is in top form. Never mind the much anticipated addition of Bunny Boys.
Take a deep breath, and I'll soon have you soaring through the ether.
Topping off this incredible expansion is a soundtrack that somehow surpasses the masterful effort put forth in Shadowbringers. The variety is incredible, with new arrangements that throw back to previous moments in Final Fantasy XIV, astounding new renditions of classics from Final Fantasy IV, and absolutely beautiful new pieces that will leave you flabbergasted as you forge ahead through this unforgettable tale.
The hour has come, Preacher! It's all or nothing!
Endwalker exudes excellence. The minor shortcomings pale in comparison to the sheer magnitude of its achievements. It's one of the most ambitious MMO expansions ever made, and a magnificent conclusion to a journey that boasts some of the best storytelling in this medium. Those harboring reservations about the time commitment should carefully consider that you're missing out on one of the best experiences in gaming. It's been a remarkable 11-year journey, and here's to many more adventures to come.
The flower did seem to radiate a joyful glow, as if reflecting the elation we all felt, the relief of a people with renewed hope.
Final score, 9.5 out of 10. Want to get more of our thoughts on games beyond reviews? Check out our Frame Trap podcast every other week with deep dive discussions on games we're currently playing, including Endwalker. Everything we do is made possible by generous viewers just like you. Check out patreon.com/easyallies to help us make more. For just $1 a month, you can gain access to weekly updates, spoiler discussions, and exclusive shows.
Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again.